Marker. You guys want a little bit of ASMR? Ooh. Oh, delicious. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Cornerstone, the show where we attempt to navigate our culture through a biblical lens. As always, and until further notice, I'm your host, Shane Kai. Last week, as you already know, I did not release an episode. That was because about 4 days into that week, around Thursday, I woke up and I was just like, I don't have a topic. I completely forgot to come up with topic ideas for an episode. And I thought of a cool topic for on Saturday, but I thought, maybe I could record it Sunday morning instead of Saturday, and maybe just make it like a short episode since I didn't really have much of a script going for me. But I ended up not doing that because I got lazy and I felt like the topic just wasn't fleshed out enough to even dedicate like 10 minutes to. So I just decided to skip on it. So that's just going to be one of those weeks of the year where I don't put anything out. So admittedly, I've had somewhat of a rough couple weeks. Just life in general, and then also spiritually, just, fighting demons, and you know how it goes. So I am a little bit underprepared for this episode. I'll be honest, I don't have much of a topic planned. I mean, I do, I just don't know how long it's going to be. I also haven't finished reading If Ye Shall Ask, the book that I've been recommending. I haven't finished reading that. And I also don't have any prayer requests either, so I might just make something up. Not make something up like it's fake, but you know what I mean, just kind of think of something random. So just bear with me. I hope that the weeks to come won't be like this. I hope that I will actually prepare and work hard to bring you high quality episodes. But this week, I don't want to go 2 weeks in a row without an episode and then just put it off another week. So I need to put something out. But I don't really know how good this episode's going to be. So it's likely going to be pretty short, probably maybe like 20 minutes, something like that. So today's topic is pretty simple. It's about touching grass. Not really, but I wanted to talk about nature. And like I said, this will probably be a shorter episode, so I apologize again for that. But that's just kind of how my life has been recently. I think it's safe to say that the last few decades and the last few generations have become more and more terminally online. And what I mean by that is they're spending the majority of their time online, and a lot of their life status has to do with what's going on online. And I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. I'm not trying to come across as some kind of boomer who's saying you should throw away all your devices and go live in the woods. I'm not saying that. Look, I love video games. I love movies. I love my iPhone. I love technology. It has its negatives for sure. There are a lot of things about technology that I don't like, but I like technology. I like the internet. I like Instagram. I like YouTube. But I do think that the last few generations have grown up on the internet and grown up on technology. And thankfully, I was not part of that generation. I was born in 99, and I grew up, I'd say my growing up portion of my life was like 0 to 12, right? So maybe a little bit past that too, typically when people refer to growing up, they don't refer to their teenage years. They just refer to like when they were a kid. So yeah, I spent most of my time outside playing with friends. When Ben and I were young, we would pretend that we were superheroes and we'd have battles, and we just let our imaginations run wild. I remember being a part of several plays that were put on by the neighborhood, because back then the neighborhood that I lived in consisted of mostly families that went to the church that was right across the street from us, called Bird Up. Actually, I probably shouldn't put that in the video because then that'll be doxing Ben. But so I remember a couple times when families all around the neighborhood would get their kids together and do some kind of like Christian-centered play. Where am I going with all this? The point is, I lived without the internet. The internet existed when I was young, but I didn't really grow up on it. And I cherish those memories, playing outside with Ben, playing games, riding bikes, even doing some of the girly things, like we would tease my sisters, because Ben has a younger sister and I have two sisters, one younger, one older. So both of us spent time annoying our sisters. I just really cherish those years of just playing outside in the sun, in the rain, in the cold, in the heat, and just making memories with my friends outside. And you don't really see much of that anymore. I'm not trying to be all doom and gloom. There are plenty of kids who still play outside, but a lot of kids are being raised by their consoles and by their computers and their devices. And it's really sad to see. I think spiritually there's a lot of reasons why we should be spending more time outside, paying attention to what God created. I mean, He allowed us to live in this beautiful world, and he made it beautiful. He made it good. I just think that more and more kids are being raised by their devices and by the internet, and I think that it's really sad. And I think that if you want to change that, when you have kids, then you need to raise them outside. I don't think there's a problem with giving them devices, but I think you need to be careful with it. And I just wish that kids nowadays, I wish that I could see the appreciation in kids nowadays, but I can't. Kids just don't appreciate the outside the way that I did. But it's not just about kids. It's about people my age too. I'm 24. I'm not trying to say that, kids should be spending more time outside, when in reality, I'm spending a lot of time inside. Like, I'm part of this too. I think a lot of people my age, even though we grew up outside, we're starting to spend more time terminally inside. And I think that should change. I remember now. What I wanted to do for this episode was I wanted this episode to be encouragement. I wanted this episode to be encouragement for people to go outside and find things to do outside. I mean, obviously, you're not going to do the things that you did when you were a kid. If you were my age, if you're like 20 or 24 or something like that, you're not going to be rolling around in the mud playing pretend. Although if you did, I guess that wouldn't be that big of a deal. But I think there's still a lot of things you can do outside. Now that you're an adult, you can go camping, you can go hiking, backpacking. Go backpacking, grab a friend. Go backpacking, or just go by yourself. You can go by yourself too. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that it's a crime, given that God gave us this earth and He made it fantastic, and we barely even utilize it the way that we should. I think about it, whenever I'm at home, I feel like I don't really want to go outside. I'd rather stay inside, watch a movie, play video games, whatever. But then I remember every time I go outside and I'm outside doing something, I'm like the happiest person in the world. It's such a weird relationship where when you're inside, you don't want to be outside, but as soon as you force yourself to go outside, you love it. And I don't know, that's just me. So I wanted to encourage people to be like, hey, There's nothing wrong with devices. I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to be that typical boomer and say throw all your devices away. I'm not trying to do that. Unplug. I'm not trying to do that. Look, devices are awesome. I wouldn't be able to make this show without devices, without technology and without the internet. But I just want to encourage everyone that there are plenty of awesome things to do outside, spending time in God's creation, hiking, camping. And there's even, I think about it now, there's a lot of things that you can do inside that you can also do outside. I remember a while ago, my friends and I, we got in the drive-thru for In-N-Out. We got food, and then we drove to a park, and we sat down at a park table, and we played Settlers of Catan. And that was it was so fun. I loved that. We had In-N-Out, and we have Catan. But it's outside. We're on a park bench. You can feel the breeze. You can feel the sun. You can breathe the fresh air. Something like that is something, you could do that. You could easily do that inside. But we decided to do it outside just for fun. And it ended up being really fun. Picnics. Oh my gosh, picnics are huge. I love the concept of picnics. Grabbing your friends, going to get some food, and then going to a park and laying on a blanket and just eating the food on the grass. Like, that concept is just so cool to me. And it can also be romantic too. So if you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend or whatever, and you want to have a cool date, go on a picnic. Make food at home or go get some food somewhere else and go to a park and eat it. I'm just saying, I think it's a shame that we don't spend nearly as much time outside as we used to. And I want to encourage everyone to change that in your own life, and also encourage others, the people around you, like your friends, encourage them to do it with you. So that's about it. I actually was going to do a funny thing where I would start the video in my room, and then as soon as I started talking about outside, I would go outside into my backyard and then record out there. But it started raining, so I can't really have all this heavy equipment outside when it's raining. So like I said, that's about it. I just want this episode to be a short and sweet encouragement. Get outside, put some shoes on, grab your friends, grab some food, grab a board game, grab a movie, grab your backpacks. There's nothing wrong with playing video games. I'm not demonizing that. I'm not trying to demonize that, because if I did, I'd be demonizing myself. There's nothing wrong with video games. There's nothing wrong with watching movies. There's nothing wrong with spending time online, whatever it is that you do. Nothing wrong with it. Obviously, moderation is key. There are people who are obsessed with it, and that's a bad position to be in. But in general, there's nothing wrong with spending time online, no matter how you do it. Go outside too. Spend some time outside. Ride a bike. Go for a run. Go camping with your friends. Go play a board game. Go get some food and eat it outside. Do whatever you need to do. And yeah, that's about it, honestly. You know what I might do for our devotional? Keep it real simple and keep it on topic as well. I guess our devotional for today is just kind of going off of what we were just talking about with nature. Just Genesis chapter 1. I'm not going to read the chapter for you because it's a really simple thing to read. Most of you already know it anyway, so you can just kind of think about it. But just God describing the creation of the earth in the first chapter of the Bible. And we're over here wasting our time playing video games for endless hours. When in reality, God created this earth and he made it beautiful, and it's all for us to enjoy. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with devices, but just go outside every once in a while. Do something fun. Anyway, again, I'm sorry for having such a boring episode. Like I said, I just didn't really plan much. But next week I'll be back. Next week I will do better. I will plan something, maybe even have a guest. I don't know. I don't have a prayer request lined up for this episode because, just like everything, I don't have anything planned. I'm so bad at this. I really need to do better. My goodness, this is a lackluster episode. I just want to end this off by saying I don't really have a prayer request, but I want to encourage everyone out here to find a prayer request. Go to your friend. This is a call to action. Okay, so I don't have a request for you, but this is a call to action. Go ask someone for a prayer request. Say, hey, how can I be praying for you? Ask that. Ask that to your friend. Find something that you can pray for the week and pray for it. I know a lot of us, we ask, hey, do you have a prayer request? And then we hear it, and then we never pray about it because we like letting them know that we're thinking about them, but we don't actually pray for them. That's awful. So find someone you love, ask them what you can pray for, and pray for them. That's my call to action today. Don't really have a prayer request. If you want to pray for me, then that would be awesome. But that's not really the request today. It's just the call to action. Go find someone you can pray for. Pray with them in the moment. Pray with them afterwards. Pray for them before you go to bed. Whatever you want to do. Find something you can pray for. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Again, I'm sorry for having such a boring episode. This will not happen again, hopefully. And I'll have something better for you next week. If you like this content, not this episode specifically, but if you like this content in general, please consider subscribing. I'm trying to hit 50 subscribers, and when I do, I'll do something special. And I don't really have much else to say, so I just hope that all of you find some time this week to go outside, spend some time with your friends in the fresh air, find someone that you can pray for them, and just spend some time thanking God for allowing you to live in his creation. And that's about it. So I'll see you all next week. Bye.